So really the first point is it'd be nice if you could just do a really quick intro to ComRes.
Well, we span both the market research world and the world of communication. We are an international market research company, is how I guess best to describe us, conducting reputation, public policy and communications research for companies, governments, NGOs, charities across the world.
So Andrew, can you tell me what drove ComRes to make the research?
We know that the resources that companies and others use to communicate with legislators it has changed phenomenally over the last 10 years, probably more so over the last 2 years. And we just wanted to measure to what extent legislators and the people who work for them have caught up with this technological revolution. To what extent are they using the same tools that corporates are using, and especially to what extent they're using the same tools that individuals are using. We've heard lots of talk about the democratization of politics and of policy making. What extent is that real, or is it merely apparent? That's really what we sought to uncover.
And have you done it before, this research?
We've done it piecemeal before. This is the first time that we've brought together a range of data covering all the relevant audiences at a European level and tested their consumption of traditional media and social media, and I think the results will prove quite interesting.
Teasing us there. Were you looking to prove or disprove a point in the research?
We were really looking to try and find ways of helping companies understand the habits, practices, perceptions of policymakers with whom they are seeking to conduct a dialogue. We went into it with a pretty open mind. I suppose if we were testing any hypothesis at all, it was probably that legislators are operating behind the curve technologically, and the consequences for that would clearly be quite profound for the sort of budgets that companies and others are spending in trying to communicate their messages to these audiences.
Right. And without giving away any results, can you tell me what most surprised you about the findings?
I think what surprised me most is the twofold thing that legislators are at heart individuals, human beings, consumers, which to some may be a surprise, and I suppose it shouldn't be, but actually they are much closer to the public very often than we give them credit for. But on the other hand, there is evidence too that party machines are adopting social media as a form of a kind of broadcast communication in a way that social media isn't really intended to operate. Now, you could say the same of companies when they have a presence on Facebook or Twitter. But what's particularly interesting, I think, is the way that some politicians get it, they use it, but a lot of others don't.
Okay. And are you able to hint whether social media is a fad or here to stay for the Brussels influencers?
Oh, I'm sure it's here to stay, because these sorts of tools very quickly become adopted as standard practice, and what we've seen in individual legislatures around the EU as well as in Brussels has been a gradual creeping across the whole of the legislative community, so that ultimately social media will become just one campaign tool of many, and with the cost advantages, the speed advantages, the control advantages as well over the message, I can't see this particular genie being put back in the bottle.